Hello, Dr. Timothy Elizondo here, continuing part 3 of my quest to spend 15 minutes every single day writing my informative speech. Let me set my timer here. And I'll be honest with you, I do not feel very well today. Last night I had too many cookies. And too late at night, and next thing you know, I'm bouncing around with sugar. And I say this because in our last video, I was working on the body of the speech, working on the 3 points, trying to kind of figure out the logic, working with evidence, working with kind of like the placement. And I don't know if my kind of sugar-induced body is capable of this kind of logic right now. So I think this highlights 2 important points. First of all, I think one of my approaches to this particular course and other types of exercises is that I really try to think of this speech like a jigsaw puzzle, right? That kind of sits in the corner of like a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle that sits there. I don't think it's successful to try to do the entire puzzle in one sitting. Instead, I try to do a little bit and then, go have a sandwich, go eat something. But I come back maybe later with my kids, my partner, we work on it again, and then we go do something else, right? In different stages, trying to do a little bit every single day, much like we are perhaps like training for something like, I don't know, a particular sporting event or, right, project. So, one, that's why I'm here, just to simply show that we can't just wait for inspiration. I think my approach is just to commit a certain amount of time every single day to the project. But second, that I don't think necessarily we have to, write the speech in a way that is, from the top down all the way at the bottom. If you notice, I'm working on the bottom or the body of my speech. And I'm not necessarily working on my introduction or my conclusion quite yet. However, last time we were here, I also brought up this different evidence that I am bringing into the speech. And I put that into the speech. So I think what I want to do is I want to kind of now, I just want to start fleshing this out perhaps. So my first point, so again, my specific purpose is to inform my audience about the relationship Dungeons & Dragons has with skills development associated with the humanities. Associated with, I want to say, various departments and subjects, /subjects, various subjects. How about the subjects? The humanities. And while I'm here, I guess I could also just kind of like tip away a little bit at the introduction. So the attention getter is, so to me, an attention getter is something that sets the tone of the speech, right? I mean, if we think of a particular, like a movie, right, like a film, like the first opening scene of a film isn't necessarily always what the plot of the movie's about. Right, so that's why I don't like speeches like that with topic sentences. Instead, I think of my speech as a movie, or perhaps like maybe a better idea would be a musical piece. And I think, okay, this musical piece, this psychological kind of thing that I'm going to be doing, is trying to establish an emotional tone. So I think of the attention getter as an opportunity to kind of set an emotional tone of the speech itself. Right? Either the thesis or perhaps the argumentation or perhaps the psychology of what you're trying to do. So with that, I'd be like, okay, well, what's the tone? I think really the tone is what I want to establish is that there's this really fun, playful game that's super cool that can actually like help make you smarter to engage in it. So my approach also is I like using a story. And I like using a story for a couple different reasons. One, stories invite the audience to immediately kind of adapt a very kind of passive role. They're like, oh, we can listen to a story. Versus a question is more, they're like, no, that's a good point, right? Story can also be something that is true or not true. right? So I have creative freedom of what I want to do with it. I can tell a real story. For example, when I was 16 years old, I remember being at this particular summer camp, and it was July 4th, this particular, right? Or it could be an imaginary story, right? I remember when I was 16 years old, I was at this particular summer camp, and it was Halloween, and it was like whatever. I could move from first person, second person, third person, right? So I have an ability to kind of move perspective. So I think with this particular story, I want to tell a story. So it's going to be a story about, and it's going to be about players having fun, being cool. Let's see, and they're playing D&D. And I just remembered that I happen to have on my evidence, I think it was a story. Let's see, my informative speech notes. So let's see, I'm going to right there. Let me copy that and bring that right there. Boom. So I actually have a citation that talks about this Hollywood game that's occurring behind closed doors, and they're all playing Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know who was playing. Oh, okay. Here we go. Look, so I'm going to take this sentence there, copy that. I want to put all this into my outline now. Okay, because it's actually according to, so I kind of like the way this is setting up. So I've got Seth Abramoff tells a story in the July 29, 2016 issue of the Hollywood Reporter. Yeah, I don't need all this stuff. And then can I paste? A story about players having fun, being cool, playing Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, so here I'm going to just kind of flesh out, like, who are the players? I mean, these are questions I need to ask myself, but I think the opening story is this kind of, like, I'm telling this story about this group of players who are playing, and I'm going to identify really specific celebrities in it. Yeah, what are they doing? Okay, so players. They're not lurking. They're not looting. Moving about a castle dwelling. Goblins and who else hangs out with goblins? Like goblins and I guess it would be a bugbear. Yeah, bugbears. Somebody's got to be asked. Who's it? It's Patton Oswalt. I don't know. And he's asked something because he was one of the players in this game. But is asked, and I think I forget who his character is. It's like Thunder something. It's a pretty funny name. Something shouts. I don't know, name other. All right, so I'm just kind of sketching out what I plan to do, but this is going to be something where I'm name dropping. I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to move into, this is Hollywood and shows D&D is moving into popular culture. I gotta find a link. Oh, I gotta find a link. I'm gonna do this. Moves into Hollywood and shows this moving into popular culture. In academia, is not far behind. I might just kind of just do it like that. And academia is not far behind, or the intellectual are not far behind. But something's like, look, D&D is moving into Hollywood, it's moving into popular culture, and here at, I don't know, the humanities, or here at Columbia College, or here at academia is not far behind. And actually, yeah, I think that bleeds right into my particular thesis. And it's understandable, for Dungeons and Dragons has a huge, has a significant relationship with the development of skills in a wide variety of subjects found in the humanities. Yeah, I think so. Okay, yeah. All right, so this is going to be this established credibility line. So an established credibility line is it's one sentence where you or the speaker gets to talk about this guy. Right? It's one sentence where you or the speaker talks about perhaps their experiences. How do I spell that? I always spell that wrong. But, so what have I done in relationship to Dungeons & Dragons? Have I been a DM? Have I been a level 17 dwarven fighter named Paulo who died, and that was really sad. Not just experiences, but also knowledge, right? And what I mean by that is I'd probably say like formal education is, and depending on the audience, like degrees, certifications, those types of things you're studied. Maybe it might be like my major, right? In forensics, we always use the kind of the, what do we say? We say we've done extensive research. Right, that sounds like a lot. But it could also be, this would be a 3, right? It could also just be like beliefs. You could also like value. I mean, particularly like, yeah, if there's like a social movement going on, I value the, you know, right, you can name drop particular kind of phrases. And so all of this would just occur just in one sentence. And so I would sketch out my different responses to this, right? That I've been a player for, oh geez, 3 years, as a professor of both philosophy and comm studies. I don't know, I could also drop like my, yeah, I don't know. Okay, I'll just drop those 2 things. Extensive research, yeah, I'm going to say I've done a lot. Beliefs and values, sure, I don't know. I'm going to believe that education is for progressive, like progress. No, not progress. What's it for? Like pragmatic. Let's go with that. Let's go pragmatic. Let's go pragmatism. Pragmatic. Positive social change, whatever that means. That sounds specific, but also vague. All right, let's see. And then here it's going to be my motivate audience line. I got to figure out a way here in this sentence, like, so why does the audience care about my thesis? Why should they care? Like, how does it link to their wants? I don't know, their needs. Why should the audience want to play D&D? Well, because I'm going to show that it could potentially increase their GPAs. There's going to be a social link that maybe I'm going to claim. What else could I put in right now? And again, I think I'm just kind of like sketching in potential ideas. I like subpoint, like just structuring this out. I like having subpoints just so I can start seeing what supports what. Needs, wants, increaser, yeah, I don't know. So that's gonna go there. All right, and then here in the preview of points, I wanna have 3 sentences here. My first point will, okay, my second point will, and my third point. And I'm actually going to say the word points in my speech because I understand that Elizondo is a structure nerd. And so I'm going to say that in my speech so that Elizondo clearly hears what I'm saying. So at the bottom of my introduction, I'm going to say, my first point will, And what's my first point gonna do? My first is about players and the DM communicate to create a shared imaginary experience. All right, so I'm gonna copy that tag. I'm gonna put that right here. Ugh. And now I have my first point will examine. I think it will examine the ways players, and the Dungeon Master use, I'm going to say utilize various communication principles and theories in order to create a shared imaginary experience. Yep, that's the first point. And what I can also do is I'm going to take that right there. All right, I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to move it down here in my conclusion, because in my conclusion I have to do the exact same thing. I have to review them. So I think then, that's a person, like reformat that. I'm going to have to work on that, but move that conclusion to a new page just so everybody can see it. Can I just start there? Can I just like make that notation? My first point, and I have to take out will, because it already happened. So my first point, and I can just do that. My first point, examine the ways players and the Dungeon Master utilized, or actually no, that they utilize various communication principles and theories in order to create a shared imaginary experience. Yep. All right, there we go. 15 minutes. All right, so sketched out my introduction. I think we're making progress. Yeah, I think we're done. All right, I did it. All right, hope all is well, and I'll see you later.